Hi, everybody. Dan Illman, Mike Beer, the feature race at Kentucky Downs on closing day Thursday. Race number 9. We're going 6.5 furlongs for the Grade 3 Franklin-Simpson Stakes. Let's take a look at this field of 3-year-olds. You can download free formulator past performances for this race on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com. Access them, handicap along with us. We'll take the field in post-position order, beginning with your morning line favorite, the number 1, Archidus. Didn't do much in his first 2 starts as a 3-year-old. Jorge Navarro gave him a 101-day layoff, and he has come back firing ever since. Now 2 for 2 on turf, including this one at Saratoga in the Mahoney Stakes. We see him on the outside, the number 7. He tracked his moderate pace, while 3 wide, takes over, and right about here, Javier pushes the button, and I love the way Archidus seals the deal.
Yeah, me too. He really finishes this race off with authority. I like this win from him. You know, I guess the concern with him right now would just be that he's got to stretch out past 5.5 furlongs for the first time on turf. But the way he finished that race, I don't know, it may not be a problem for this horse.
And he's won at 7 on dirt in his career, and he might have another favorable pace scenario, as has been the case in his 2 races on turf. Here's the Timeform U.S. pace projector for this race. Archidus, of course, is the number 1. He is up close in a blue bar situation. Blue bar in Timeform U.S. parlance indicates that this race might favor horses on or near the early lead, and Archidus breaking from the inside fits that bill. The number 2 is Casa Creed. And Casa Creed, I thought, ran very well last time out for Bill Mott in the Hall of Fame going a mile. Let's go into the stretch of that race right now. There wasn't a lot of pace. This horse was 3 wide around both turns. He's in the pink silks right now. He takes the lead, and Sambaye, the horse on the inside, had all the best of it on a slow pace down towards the rail, and Casa Creed outclasses him late.
Yeah, he really did. This was a good effort from this horse. You know, he's been holding his own sort of near the top of this division all year long. It was nice to see him get a graded stakes win because he's earned one. And he earned that win, too. He was wide the entire way. He really finished gamely. He's a huge contender in this race.
Global Access, the third-place finisher of that race, has come back to win with, I believe, an 88 and a Beyer speed figure 2 starts after this race. He's a nice horse, to be sure. Casa Creed also beat another next-out winner in that spot. And I don't mind him cutting back, Mike, to 6.5. Yeah. I think the 6.5 at Kentucky Downs plays longer than everywhere else.
Yeah, I agree with that. I don't mind this distance for this horse at all.
Timeform US had the 3 pole setter out there on the early lead, and I think that's where he wants to be. 2 starts back in the Paradise Creek, they just allowed him to walk on the easiest of leads, and he made them pay. Last time out in the Manila, Luis Saez decided to take a hold out of him on him, and I understand why. He was chasing a ridiculous long shot on the backstretch. Yeah. I was just disappointed he didn't finish. I think the mile was just too far for him.
Yeah, that could be the case. Maybe cutting back to the shorter distance works for this horse. I guess my biggest problem is I still don't know how good he is, Dan. That win 2 back, they just sort of handed him that race. And then the horse that was pressuring him on the lead, Mucho, just hasn't turned out to be that good. I don't know. We'll see what happens here. He's a good price on the line, so I won't knock him. I'm just not his biggest fan.
The Last Zip, I think, has a shot in here at 8-1 on the morning line. Graduated at Belmont when able to set an uncontested pace. Burned a very competitive 89 Beyer speed figure, and since then has run well in both graded stakes tries at Arlington Park. Last time out, he broke at a big price to make the lead. It looked like Adam Beskiza wanted to rate and give up the lead to get to the outside, but he just couldn't do it, so he went on with it. And guess what? The horse ran great. He only got run down late in the very last eighth of a mile or so. The Last Zip can sit, and I think he's going to track 3 wide off moderate fractions.
I agree with all that stuff, and I actually feel like, cutting back in distance doesn't hurt this horse either. He's got plenty of tactical speed. He's finding wins hard to come by, but he's just run well in all of his turf starts. I'm using this horse.
I'm concerned about the distance, however, for the 5, Legends of War. This horse cut back from a mile to 5 last time out at Delmar. I just don't think he could have asked for a better trip. He's in behind the leader right now in the red silks. He eases to the outside. He has dead aim on this horse. He doesn't change leads, and somehow Bejarano gets this horse's nose down on the wire. It was a big figure race off of a perfect trip. This is going to be tougher. He has some speed to stay close.
Yeah, I like that he has tactical speed. Maybe the trip works out for him, but I didn't really want to bet him off of that last win, even though the figure says he's a contender.
Lexitonian is a graded stakes winner on dirt. He is stakes placed on synthetic. This will be his turf debut. The sire Speightstown can do anything. 13% winners with first turf runners. The dam only started once on the grass and was unplaced. race, but this is mostly a dirt pedigree. The second dam Swap Flipperoo won the test at Saratoga. I just don't think this horse saw out the mile last time out, Mike. He made the lead 3 furlongs from home, and a couple of nice horses ran and got him down late. This is a tough spot for a turf debut.
Yeah, it is, and he's just, he's just not really bred for this. I didn't see enough pedigree to get me interested, but he's a nice horse.
Life Mission is the number 7 in here, and this horse is still a maiden. He is 0 for 11 in his career, despite finishing on the board in its 3 stakes races. Life Mission ran on that speed-biased Kentucky Downs surface on Saturday. Kind of got jammed up a little bit, and tried to rally, but only could finish 3rd. This is a way different stratosphere in terms of class.
Yeah, he's 50 to 1 on the morning line for a reason, with no wins to show, but he has multiple stakes placed. He's wheeling back very quickly to try again.
Dumpf has been a little bit of a disappointment as well. He started out with a horse with a lot of potential. Yeah. He won his first 2 starts on dirt by open lengths. He finished 3rd in the Springboard Mile behind Long Range Toddy, who ended up winning a graded stakes race on the Derby Trail. Dumpf, I thought, had his best chance 3 back in the Mystic Lake Derby when he made this big wide move, and Faraway Kitten, his uncoupled stablemate, sort of got jammed in down towards the inside, and he flattened out. The Mahoney I won't hold against him. Slow pace, distance a little bit shorter than his best. Let's go back to his dirt race. Maker just threw his hands up, dropped him in for 75. Doesn't he have every chance to win this in the green blinkers?
Yeah, he has every chance to win this race, and he just can't get there. I don't know what to say about this horse anymore, Dan. I was on him early. He's just lost me. He hasn't turned out to be that good.
The number 9 is the Black Album, as we see Dumpf just get up for 2nd in the shadow of the wire on the dirt. I thought Dumpf got a great trip in winning that Charlie Barley 2 starts back over Global Access. This is a horse who just sat the pocket. It was a really nice ride from Flavien Prat. He eased out in the stretch, and he was all out to win. And they turned him back in the Mahoney, and again, there was just no pace. He was in and among horses near the back of the pack, and I thought he was at least punching on a little bit late. He's better than that running line looks in the Mahoney. It's just that after 11 starts, he's kind of found his level. Buyer speed figures in the low to mid-80s. He's got to run a little faster.
Yeah, he does. I'm sort of with you, though. I don't want to hold the last race against him. And I actually sort of feel like this is the kind of horse who going a little bit shorter could actually work for him. They've tried to make him, a miler or thereabouts this year. I don't think he really wants to go that far. This distance might really help this horse.
I think Stubbins is a sleeper. He has proven himself going 6.5 with a couple of wins over the downhill turf course at Santa Anita. This is his 3rd start back since a failed try in the UAE Derby. His first race back came against some very salty older horses like Eddie Haskell and Tribalist, and he was far from embarrassed. Last time out in the La Jolla, he was put on the chase, and that mile and a 16th, I think, was way too far for him. I think he fits very well here at a price.
I agree. I don't like the La Jolla as a race, but I'm not holding it against this horse. I like this shorter distance from him. He's already shown that he can sprint. And as you say, he's got a lot of upside, I think.
The number 11, Nitrous, goes dirt to turf for Steve Asmussen with some really strong company lines. His running style's a bit of an issue, as he's a true one-run closer with no speed whatsoever. But in the Woody Stevens, a race that fell apart, he almost overcame the inside bias with a rail run. He then had the misfortune to catch Chancelot when that horse freaked to the tune of a 121 Beyer in the Amsterdam. And last time out in the Jerkins, he came with a little bit of a close against some nice horses like Mind Control and Hog Creek Hustle. His one turf start, throw it out. He just stumbled at the start, got bumped around. He's got some turf pedigree. He just needs a lot of pace.
Yeah, he does have turf pedigree. We'll see if he can do better than he did in his only turf start so far. It does feel like he's a better horse now than he was then. So it's not unreasonable to give him another chance in here.
Let's take a look at our top picks for the Grade 3 Franklin-Simpson Stakes. And Mike, you like the 12 Moon Colony. And if this course comes up wet, you've got to upgrade this horse greatly because he seems to like any kind of give in the ground. In the Penn Mile, I love the ride Julien Leparoux gave. Very patient, saved ground. The rail opened up. He shot on through, and he took the measure of Casa Creed. The Belmont Derby, he just went way too fast at a distance way too far. And in the Hall of Fame last time out, no pace, and he's just extremely wide. I just wish he fired a little better in the lane.
Yeah, maybe. You know what? I'm not going to hold that last race against him, though. He was just stuck wide every step of the way. I just don't think he had any chance at all the way that race was run. So I don't want to hold it against him. I don't love this horse, Dan, but I don't mind this distance for him. He's got tactical speed. And listen, maybe he does want some cut in the ground, but he's run fine over firm turf in the past.
And again, tough to win going wide last time out. He must have been 4-5 path going into the first turn, 3-4 wide in the backstretch, tried to follow Casa Creed, and again, there was no pace for him to run at. You're going with Moon Colony at a nice price. Give me numbers.
I went 12, 4, 2, and 1.
I'm curious to see if Archer Dust has just been the beneficiary of, nice paces in his last two races, and maybe he's just a little bit dressed up, but there doesn't appear to be a ton of speed in here according to Timeform US. And we saw how he kicked home in the Mahoney. Not a lot of price in here, but I'll go 1, 11, 4, and 2, and maybe try to connect on some exotics with nitrous coming from way out of it. The Grade 3 Franklin-Simpson is your Thursday race of the day. Remember to get those free Formulator Pass performances on the Race of the Day event page at DRF.com, and the approximate post time for the Franklin-Simpson, 4:25 Central. Best of luck.